Beautiful people. Welcome to 321 No Kidding. Happy March 10th. Bobby the Awesome here. We have a couple good little juicy nuggets from the inspirational calendar and from our daily reading today. So let's get to it. Our calendar says, strength grows in the moments when you think you can't go on, but you keep going anyway. Can you imagine actually remembering that when you're in those moments? Wouldn't that be amazing? I encourage you to try. I encourage you to try to remember that because it's true, as uncomfortable as it may seem. But hell, if we wanted comfortable, we probably wouldn't be in recovery, right? Okay, what do we got? Walter C. says, if you listen, you can get your own answers. Hi. Here we go. One of the wonderful things about a 12-step recovery program is that each of us gets to decide for ourselves what it means and how it works for us. How often do we stop to think about our place in the big picture? For most of us, it hasn't been an everyday experience. But when the program came into our lives, we were compelled to look at this and compelled as well to figure out just what shape our higher power might take. It was one of those tasks we needed to do early in recovery. People around us had a lot of different ideas. We talked a lot, listened even more. Finally, our own ideas began to emerge. We began finding a relationship with God as we understood God. Over time, it has changed, and we will continue to change as we journey through life. It's comforting to not travel alone. As we grow in recovery, our ability to accept and understand a higher power will also continue to develop. With this growing relationship, we gain courage and serenity every day. Today, help me remember that my relationships with myself, my family and friends, and my environment are all enriched when I put God into each of these areas. We've talked about this. I've talked about this in the sense of I truly believe that the difference between my 2+ years of recovery the first time and the difference between my impending 4 years of recovery this time really connects and has to do with having my own version of a higher power this time. Now, it's not my job to tell you that you need to get one. It's not even this book's job to tell you you need to get one. However, I think both the book and I would strongly suggest it. And it's gonna look different for everyone. Now, if you're from the school of thought, which most days I am, some days I struggle, that everything happens the way it's supposed to happen. For example, I don't believe I was supposed to find a higher power the first time around in recovery because it might have impacted the fact that I relapsed. And if I didn't relapse, I wouldn't be sitting here with you today. So I felt pretty passionate about that. However, if you're someone that's just starting out on the journey, maybe because you're here listening to me and we're having this conversation, maybe this is your time to embrace higher power. Maybe you've gone back out over and over again, and maybe you don't know what the missing piece is to transitioning your life. And these readings just blow me away some days because I need to be reminded of this. There's been a lot of pressure I've been putting on myself lately, which is causing me to not be who I want to be every day. My vocabulary is changing. I don't want to deal with people. I feel overwhelmed. All these things show up. But if I just sit back and go, okay, well, it's happening the way it's supposed to. The timing is perfect. And I will get past this. And this is part of the plan. If I just accept that, then I will stop the stress, which will stop the bad moods, which will stop the crazy and the tears, hopefully, and all the things. But I haven't chose to do that lately. I've actually chose to live in a place of of ego, I think, where I'm Bobby the awesome, and I can do whatever I want, and it's going to all work out, and I want it my way. Well, you know what? That's bullshit. I have to call bullshit on myself because I'm not capable of controlling it all. I'm just really not. And actually what I'm doing is getting in my own way. I guess this is why we have to pay attention to recovery every day, why we have to do the work. Whether the work is me sitting here with you chatting about it, or going to a meeting, or reading the next good book, whatever that is, it's the work, and we have to put it in, because even though, and this is, I'm not saying this to be like a buzzkill, but even though I'm here with you every day, even though I put so much effort in, I could still do better. But I can't do better by myself. If I could, then I would have been successful the first time I quit, right? Or at least that's the way I frame it. I frame it now. And I also, it's really interesting. There was a person in my life when I was in Kansas City who, I guess, invited me in his own way to start looking at higher power or God. He's definitely a believer and has a relationship with God. And that was the first time I ever started really thinking about it as an adult outside of recovery rooms. But it didn't stick. I wasn't ready for it to stick back then. And then when I met the guy in rehab, and a year later, I mean, he was a God guy too. And once I started listening to him, it was like the guy in Kansas City started laying the framework. And then when I got a little less fuzzy, or I needed a different messenger to hear the message, it's like when you tell your kids 100 times the way something could be, or something from your experience, but they don't listen to you. But then the favorite aunt or a teacher or somebody different says the same thing, but in a different way, they hear it. That's what needed to happen on my journey. And I'm grateful for that. And it validates the whole concept that everything happens exactly when it's supposed to happen. Because again, if I don't know, if I had a different result from the first time I quit, my life would be so much different right now. I don't think that the 3-2-1 dream would be alive. I don't think I would be an entrepreneur. I don't think that I would be overall more happy, even though I have some shitty days. I don't think I would be as happy as I am. So I have to believe that. I do believe that. I don't even have to, but I do need to remind myself that I know that deep down, and I need to get out of my own way. At any rate, the moral of the story, especially if you're new on the journey, I would encourage you, like what it looked like when I first went to meetings, and God is not my word of choice. I can live with higher power, universe, source love. I can live with those words. If something about that God word, and who knows, maybe it'll take more therapy and exploration to figure out why I'm stuck on that one. But maybe it's you go to meetings, and when they use the word God or higher power or whatever the language is, you go into it with more of an open mind than I ever did. I went into it very closed-minded, and it didn't serve me. It didn't serve me for the long term. And I'm very grateful for these people that have come into my lives that have opened the doors on this. Because I don't know for sure that the program, maybe it would have connected. I mean, it would connect when it was supposed to connect, but I'm not sure that I would have just got that from the program, which is another reason why I advocate for you and planting yourself in different circles and having different exposure to things, whether it's family and friends, or the kinds of things you read, or the groups you participate in, whatever that looks like for you to get to what the messaging you need to hear, and the values you need to have, and the faith you need to develop that works for you, whatever that looks like. So it's really interesting to look back to the last couple of years and see how things have changed with my belief system. And I must not be putting enough of the right work in lately that I lost track of me believing that everything's going to be all right. Instead, I've kind of been operating from a place of stress, and I need to do some work on that. And I can say that, and I know that the result will be better because I've lived that. And maybe you haven't lived or experienced that yet. So that's why I'm here to tell you. And again, you won't know until you try. So I'm going to just encourage you to try. That's what I got for you today. Love you, beautiful people. Talk soon.